that everything was cool. Another crushing win looked imminent. But thankfully, there was still some fight left in the tattered Australians. Hilditch and Border knuckled down. Their partnership was worth 111 runs.
Well placed by Border, finding the gap between Richards.
Then the dismissal that wasn't. Border's pads are struck, the appeal goes up, and
Viv Richards has got him.
rightly, Border was seething as he watched the scoreboard replay. Was this the end? For Matthews, it was.
Once again, he's let it go, and I would say it's hit the stumps.
Even the very young had lost hope. It was the same old song. With just over an hour to go, the 6th wicket falls.
And well taken there by Richie Richardson.
There were 20 overs to be bowled in the last hour. It was up to Hilditch, and on 97, he very nearly didn't make his Test century. Richards just misses, but not Hilditch for his first Test ton.
Down the ground it goes, and what a magnificent century by this young man, coming back into the Australian side. A standing
With 2.5 overs remaining, it was Gomes who takes Hilditch's proud wicket.
Oh, and it's gone onto the stumps.
Could we hold out? The new ball was taken. Marshall bowled an over. Bennett and Lawson were at the wicket for the final 6 from Walsh.
Long hop. Oh, that's a good bouncer from
Lloyd was tense. On the very last ball, Walsh has success all too late.
Oh, and he's got him with the last one.
Still, the West Indies achieve another record, 27 consecutive tests without defeat.
Jeffrey Lawson departs, but Australia have saved the Test match.
Well, the highlight of that Test match was Andrew Hilditch, of course, who was sitting right next to me. I bet you remember that. Fond memories.
It seems a long time ago now, but it was great fun.
Yeah, they were a side that could really put a lot of pressure on, weren't they? I mean, I'd imagine that day was one that you were probably hoping to get to the end of pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting though, when you're actually out there, you sort of just knuckle down, it sort of goes fairly quickly, but I think the fact they had 4 great fast bowlers and lots of pressure. And back in those days, that was Courtney's first tour, and you used to think he was he was the break in the pace attack, and he went on to be such a great bowler.
It's something, that era of West Indies cricket, and you being able to face a barrage of blokes like Joel Garner, Malcolm Marshall and co, it really set the scene for West Indies cricket, didn't it? Because now you just expect the Windies to hit you with 4 or 5 quick bowlers.
Yeah, well, I think probably going to, well, hopefully we're going to see it in this game, the fact that they are lacking a class spinner, and they've always got away without it, but you know, eventually that's going to hurt you, I think.
What's tougher, being a player or now being an Australian selector?
I get more nervous as a selector. As a player, you sort of just go out and do what you do, and you don't think about it much, but as a selector, you sort of sit there and hope you get it right.
What are the sort of things you've got to take into account as a selector? I mean, you're travelling around Australia, you're going to different Pura Cup matches, different Mercantile Mutual matches. What are you taking into account? What are you looking for?
Obviously look at form, which is critical, but we're also looking at other factors, trying to make sure that we've always got a good fielding side on the paddock is really important. So you're looking at a total package more than just the statistics at the end of the day, which are obviously important, but you're looking at a total package, you're looking at people who are going to fit the team. There's a real sort of spirit amongst the team, and you want to make sure that everybody's going to fit in.
It's such a difficult job, and every situation, I'm sure, is different. How do you now attack a Shane Warne situation? He's coming back from injury. It seems to be pretty much right. I think he bowled 8 or 9 overs in a grade game in Melbourne yesterday. How do you guys look at that? Do you personally approach him, have a chat? What's happening? How's it feel? Get a report from medical staff?
Well, medical staff will be very important. This is time for the curly questions, isn't it?
No. Well, this is helping out, mate, this one.
Oh, look, Shane's a fantastic bowler and one of the greats of all time. But we'll just look at the medical situation. You've got to trust Shane a lot. I think he's learnt not to come back too early, so I think he'll make sure he's right.
That trust factor's a big one, isn't it? I mean, for a player who's played so long, been such a great of the game, to be able to look him in the eye and say, are you right or are you not? You would expect the right, the proper answer to come back at you.
I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago maybe he would have rushed it, but I think he'll do it when it's right.
Now, another interesting situation, we spoke to Brett Lee yesterday. He's really keen to play in the Boxing Day Test match. But as you said, you've got it, those medical reports have got to be right, don't they? I mean, how do you face that situation? Because it's again, it's a tough one. You want him in the side. He's such a class act. He's such an integral part of the attack. But if you had him there, you may lose him for 6 months. That's another tough one. And then if you do ask him the question, it's an inexperienced player, isn't it?
Although, to be fair to Brett, he was very upfront going back last year when we rested him from a game, and nobody likes to rest because someone else is getting another chance, of course. But he was pretty, you know, upfront and said, yeah, I think it's a good idea, and I'm sure he'll have the same attitude this time. But I think that's the way things have changed. The fact that he didn't play this test match, it wouldn't have happened in the old days. We sort of got advance medical warning that there was a problem. I'm sure he could have played and would have wanted to play here, but he's sort of taken the longer view. And I think he'll continue to have the longer view. If the medical staff say, no, you need to rest further, I'm sure he'll follow that.
The players coming through, we've got some excellent players in first-class cricket now. Let's have a look at the batsmen first, for example. The Simon Hilditch, the Brad Hodge of this world, our first-class batting, you know, some of those averages, Brad Hodge averaging 82 at the moment, Simon Hilditch 70. Jimmy Mars had a great year. There's a lot to pick from, isn't there? Very hard to break into this side, it's so settled. Yeah. Is there half a dozen that you think are ready-made test players to come in?
Oh, I think we're really lucky in that there's a lot of people knocking on the door, and what we do as a selection panel, we settle in a roster at the beginning of the year. We try to watch every ball that's bowled between the four of us, and you just look at form, you look at how they're going, you talk a lot to people. Obviously you've got to make your own decisions, but you obviously talk to coaches and captains and make sure you're getting all the right feedback. And then, unfortunately, at some stage it comes down to getting runs at the right moment when an opportunity presents it, such as Damien Martin here, who's played really well in this test, but he's seized every opportunity and is having another good domestic season as well.
Is there a name you can throw at us? Because I think we've been spoilt. We've been spoilt with the quality of a Glenn McGrath and the quality of a Shane Warne. So the next quick bowler, the next spin bowler to come through, we're saying you have to, you know, we're going to compare them. Is there someone, or are there a group of young fellas that you think are coming through, particularly from a pace bowling point of view?
Look, there's a few coming through. You know, we tried Nash in the Australia A game and he bowled pretty well. And we tried Innes as well, who's done real well for Victoria. I'm not sure what the statistics are, but it'd be right up there. I think he had 20 odd before we picked him. And again, that's opportunities. There's 4 or 5 quicks injured at the moment. Damien Fleming is out at the moment, and well, coming back from injury, but a few other people struggling. We've still got Kaspowitz not on the paddock, so it's a matter of opportunities. Brackens looks a promising quick from New South Wales as well, so they're all, it's a matter of getting wickets just when the opportunity presents itself, I think.
I think you're handling this job perfectly. Mate, thanks for coming up.
No problem. Easy. Enjoyed it.
Good on you. Okay. Andrew Hilditch joining us there, and hopefully we'll keep having a chat with Andrew on these co-selectors during the summer. We're going to take a break now, and as we go to the break, a Commonwealth Bank coaching tip from Glenn McGrath.